1 week from the day this video is posted, on May 15th, the Rooster Teeth website will shut down, and an era of the internet will come to an end. A lot of people are wondering what this means for the RWBY series. Well, first and foremost, the content that's currently exclusive to the Rooster Teeth website may be gone, so I highly encourage everyone to go to the Rooster Teeth website. I'll leave a link at the top of the description down below, and make sure that you watch everything that you can within the next week or so, because it may not be accessible afterwards. And a lot of people are also wondering what this means for the RWBY series going forward. Honestly, this is a video that I've wanted to make since we got the Rooster Teeth closure announcement, but I wanted to wait until we had some concrete information to go on so it's not just entirely my speculation. I do have a number of thoughts and my own reasoning as to why I think it's very likely that the RWBY series will continue, but we also have now some concrete information that gives us hope that the RWBY series will continue. Ever since it was announced that Rooster Teeth would be closing its doors, we were told by the writers of RWBY that they were in talks with other partners to find RWBY a new home. And recently, in a live stream, we were directly told by Kerry Shawcross that those conversations have progressed to the next stage. Now, that doesn't mean it's completely confirmed that we will be getting Volume 10, but it does mean that conversations are progressing smoothly, and from what they said, it seems like the original writers are going to be on board in some capacity. Whether that means they will be head writers still and have full creative control, or whether that means something else, we don't know yet, and I will make videos when we get further updates. But for those who wanted the concrete information, that is where it stands. So far, conversations seem to be progressing smoothly with finding RWBY a new home, and it seems likely, and in my opinion, hopeful, that at the very least, Volume 10 will happen. And so the rest of this video is going to be my own thoughts and reasoning as to why I'm going to add on to that idea that Volume 10 should happen, in my opinion. And that's because, well, just think of the legacy that RWBY has. There's 9 volumes of a series thus far, multiple different games and books, spin-offs. The intellectual property of RWBY is quite large. There's even the Japanese anime that was made in the last couple years. So there is a lot that would come with a company that would purchase RWBY. And with that being the case, at the very least, it is a very lucrative idea, at least from my opinion. What the heads of actual companies will think and what they will end up deciding is something I have no idea about. But from my own perspective, even if a company would look at RWBY as just pure profits, not even for the legacy that it has and for wanting the story to continue, because let's be honest, most companies just care about the bottom line. If they picked up RWBY and only wanted to do so to make money, marketing Volume 10 as the final volume of RWBY and putting that marketing out there. This is how the story concludes. This is the finale of the RWBY series, a 10-year-long legacy, etc., etc. That would bring a whole lot of attention. Not only the fact that RWBY would be continuing past the end of Rooster Teeth, but also it would bring back a lot of people who used to be fans of RWBY to watch that final volume. It would probably be one of, if not the most successful volumes of RWBY if some company would look at it from the same perspective. Now, obviously, I'm hoping that we're going to get more than just Volume 10. I think there is just a little bit too much that's left to do in the RWBY series for everything to be wrapped up in a single volume. There's a lot of characters we need to reconnect with in Volume 10, as well as 2 relics that are still out there. We still need to meet the Summer Maiden, as well as, be introduced to all of the people in Vacuo that so far have only been introduced through the books After the Fall and Before the Dawn. We want to meet these characters. We want to see our beloved characters from Beacon, Team Coffee, Team Sun, again on screen in a meaningful way. And one more volume, unless it's like a really long volume that somehow has like 20 episodes or more, we won't really have time to do that, to explore these characters. But if a company does look at it from a pure profit standpoint, as I've described, then at the very least, we should be getting one more volume of RWBY. I think it's very likely that a company would pick it up and give us at least that much. But, given the information that we've been told from Kerry Shawcross that the conversations seem to be going well, that they're going to involve the original writers of the show, that leads me to believe that whatever company they are in talks with, or whatever multiple companies, they are in support of the RWBY series for more than just profits, or at least more than just immediate profits. Meaning that I'm hoping we'll get Volume 10 and more than just Volume 10. I've always been of the thought that Ruby was planned to have 12 volumes to complete the story, 3 volumes for each kingdom. We've had the first 3 for Beacon and Vale, we've had the next 3 for Mistral and the transition into Atlas, and then we've had 7 to 9 for Atlas and the transition to Vacuo through the Ever After. So, at the very least, I think there would be 2 more volumes left to explore Vacuo and complete the story. I think 12 volumes is kind of fitting, though, as I've always said, the rule of 4 teammates, 4 kingdoms, 4 maidens, and split the Ruby series into 4 individual arcs, 3 volumes in each. So hopefully we'll get the full 12 volumes, or however many volumes the writers of the show are planning on and are obviously going to be pitching to whatever company that is going to pick up Ruby. Overall, when it comes to a company wanting to pick up Ruby, whether it's for sheer profits, short term, or for long term, or even just supporting the series, I think it's very likely that someone would want to pick up Ruby and would, at the very least, give us Volume 10. So my overall opinion is that we will get Volume 10 at some point, but there's going to be a lot to do in the transition period. Not only moving Ruby and the potential assets that come along with it, all of the character models and whatever they would need to get from the current Rooster Teeth servers over to their new offices or wherever that would be, there's going to be that transition period as well as getting things situated over there, figuring out the budget, and doing all that. Which means that if we do get Volume 10, it probably won't be for a couple to 3 or 4 years, is my thinking. So just for everyone to kind of settle their expectations, I do think that Volume 10 will happen, but I don't think it's going to happen for a while. And that brings me into the next part of this video, which is, well, the future of this channel. And ultimately, just to make it short and sweet, nothing's going to change. There is a lot I still want to talk about when it comes to Ruby, my own original character team, the theories to come for Volume 10. There's so much that I haven't made from Volume 9. I still haven't explored multiple other things that I want to talk about related to Ruby, so this channel's not going to change, and even if we don't get Volume 10, there's still a lot of Ruby content that I want to make. And if we don't get Volume 10, then there's also other hypotheticals that I would also delve into. So for anyone wondering, this channel isn't really going to change. With that out of the way, though, I do wish everyone at Rooster Teeth the best in their future in life. I know that this was unexpected to everyone involved. All of us who have been fans of Rooster Teeth for many, many years, the people who have loved Ruby since its beginning, and, well, most importantly, the people who've worked on the show. The people who are working at Rooster Teeth obviously never expected this to happen either. And I wish all the best for them. I hope that many of them can continue working with Ruby in some capacity, and I hope that they can land on their feet after Rooster Teeth closes. It's a huge loss to the internet. Rooster Teeth has been such a pillar in so many different ways, and innovator with a number of the different things that they've produced. But I do understand, with the changing landscape of the internet, as they made in their announcement, that it just wasn't financially viable. And I can only imagine that the pandemic played a large role in that. If we just look at Ruby in and of itself, before Volume 7 was even finished airing, Volumes 8 and 9 were greenlit, meaning they already had the budget laid out, the timeline that they wanted to achieve, and up until that point, Volume 7 releasing from late 2019 till early 2020, before and finished up before the pandemic even happened, Rooster Teeth had been releasing Ruby volumes 1 a year, starting near the end of the year, finishing up at the beginning of the following year. So they had probably planned to have Volume 8 start at the end of 2020, finish beginning of 2021, and Volume 9 following that same suit. But when the pandemic hit, people had to work from home. Things took longer, and the budget was stretched extremely thin. We still got Volume 8 at the end of 2020, but there was a couple-month gap in between. And then it finished up, closer to the middle of 2021. And we didn't even get Volume 9 until middle of 2023. And we didn't even get the last couple episodes of Volume 9. They had to shorten it down into Episode 10, and well, they did the best that they could, and honestly, they've made some amazing volumes through Volume 8 and Volume 9. But it's very likely that those same financial burdens that affected the release timeline of RWBY Volumes 8 and 9, if they were across the entire company, which I can only imagine they were with everyone working from home, then ultimately that's what led to, or at the very least, accelerated everything to get to this point of Rooster Teeth needing to close its doors. Or at least Warner Brothers making the decision for Rooster Teeth to close its doors. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be difficult going from here. There is going to be a hole that is left with Rooster Teeth's absence, and again, I just wish everyone involved the best. Anyone who is still fans of the RWBY series and wants to continue talking about the show, see more videos on it, more theories, etc., you're more than welcome in the community built around this channel. And if you want to talk about it live, make sure to check out my Twitch channel. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and would love to hear from you. But whether here or elsewhere, I know that the communities that Rooster Teeth has fostered, the people that have been brought together by the content that has been made by the people who worked there, those communities will continue for years and years to come. Everyone who worked at Rooster Teeth should be proud of the work that they have put in and the accomplishments that they've achieved. Rooster Teeth, I think, will be remembered for a very, very long time. And the work that they've created, RWBY in particular, holds a special place in my heart, but all of their works will hold a special place in many people's hearts. So, with that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What's some of your favorite memories from Rooster Teeth, from watching the RWBY series? And let me know what you think about RWBY continuing on into the future. Do you think my reasoning is sound, or do you have anything else you'd like to add to the discussion? And if you guys want to see more videos, continue talking about RWBY, continue seeing more RWBY content, then feel free to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.